Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for House of the Dragon, Episode 8.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
Now, for me, this episode deserves to be just called the Paddy Considine episode. The great actor who's portraying King Viserys. My word, what an absolutely incredible performance in this episode, but not just in this episode, throughout the entire season, but this episode in particular. This is up there with one of the greatest on-screen TV performances I think I've seen. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Might be some minor spoilers here, so just bear with me, but we see King Viserys at the end of his life, and my God, he's nothing but a shell at this point. He's just a shell of a man. He's quite literally fallen to pieces. We initially see him bedbound. He's bandaged up. We can't see the side of his face, and he's completely gone. He's decimated. There's very little there, and Rhaenyra and Daemon come to King's Landing due to factors in play around. So basically, the Valyrians are in shit street because the patriarch is apparently on his way out. He's been mortally injured in battle, and they're now squabbling over who should rule, their island. And his brother is like, "Nah, it's going to be me. I'm going to bugger everything up, and you'll all pay the price." And everybody starts making a petition as to why they should be the ones that rule, even though King Viserys decreed that Rhaenyra's child should rule those islands. Fair play. So everybody comes together at King's Landing, basically, to argue the toss as to why they should be the one that rules these islands. I can't remember the island's name, to be honest. I'm trying to think of it as we're talking, but it's not happening. Needless to say, obviously Rhaenyra goes to her father, and she's like, "Look, you're going to have to try and help me." And he can't comprehend. He's struggling to remember who's there. He sees Daemon, he's like, "Oh, Daemon, it's you." And then 30 seconds later, he's like, "Ah, Daemon, it's you." His mind's gone. His faculties are broken. This is just, for me, it was literally the Paddy Considine show. They all come together, like I said, they do argue about it. They come to the throne room, and, before that we've seen Paddy Considine slowly try and piece things together, slowly try and, talk to people. It isn't happening. Rhaenyra goes to him a second time to try and convince him to help her, and he's not quite there. He doesn't quite understand. However, in the throne room, the Valyrian king's brother is making his point, he's arguing, and then the king comes in. King Viserys comes in, and he walks the entire length from the entranceway doors up to the throne, and it's painful, but not painful in the sense of, like, watching it going, "Oh, this is painful to see." This is a man who, such grandiosity, such power is reduced to this shell, this shriveling shell, this stumbling shell of a man. But the power is still there, the determination. He walks the full length unaided up to the steps to get up to the Iron Throne, and when he reaches them, his crown falls, and he's stumbling, he's failing. And who helps him up? Daemon. Daemon picks up his crown and tells him to keep going and make his way up to the chair, and he finally sits, and he makes the ruling. Rhaenyra's children will rule the Valyrian seat and be in charge of their enormous fleet. incredible. We get all range of emotions from Paddy Considine in this point in time. I think this is a performance where you would have to give him every single accolade you can possibly think of. There's too much going on for me to comment on all of it, really. Suffice to say, it's incredible performance. It stands out in this show. I've said it all along that I think the performances have been the overwhelming good part of this show, and then with that, this show has got better as it's gone along, and this just hammers home exactly that fact. Fucking brilliant performance and a really, really good episode again. We have a lot going on with the family dynamic. This is what I wanted. This is what I was hoping we'd see, the family dynamic. And following this ruling, the brother's not happy. He turns around and calls Rhaenyra's children bastards, and Matt Smith, Daemon, completely cleaves his head off. Superb. Again, Matt Smith, probably, what I would highlight as being an unselfish actor moment. He can tell this is Paddy Considine's, final episode, or, resounding going out episode. So Matt Smith is able to temper, what qualities he has and give the floor to Paddy Considine in this. They share it so bloody well. For all the issues they've had, they don't have to say much more than what is already said. In this episode, Matt Smith picking up the crown and putting it on his brother's head just says everything. You don't need to have an abundance of dialogue to make sense of what the emotional impact is, what the emotional meaning is. And Matt Smith gives the floor to Paddy Considine in this episode. He has his own brilliant moments, but the quality of Matt Smith is that he's still able to sit there in the background and absorb the scenery, absorb the attention of everyone. And you are just sat there on bated breath waiting for something to happen. That's what makes this episode so brilliant. You're almost in anticipation that he's going to say something to upset his own brother, but no, he goes the other way. It's superb. It's absolutely superb. Superb writing. Absolutely brilliant, superb writing, and well-paced. They go into the Last Supper, it's been called. And the king demands all his family attend. He wants to go, he wants to speak to them, and he gives this impassioned speech about them all coming together, letting go of their issues, their problems, joining together and securing the legacy of House Targaryen. And it's Shakespearean in its power, in its delivery. It's like a theatre piece. It's superb. It's really good. I'm just saying superb a lot, but I'm struggling to find any other superlatives to basically, describe how good a performance this is. He steals the scene from everyone. But like I said, everyone's gracious enough to sort of sit back and allow Paddy Considine to take the floor. It's directed so well in that regard that you get everything. And we see him take off his mask and he's missing an eye. You can see his skull. He's decayed. He's basically just a skeleton at this point. Like I said, he's just a shell. There's nothing else there. It's harrowing. It's harrowing. This is a great man who's slowly decayed over the course of the season. We saw it with that, with the one finger gone. It's got to this point where his face is literally decayed. It's going. And it's decaying his mind and his ability to rationalise things. But in this moment, he completely puts everyone on, on the edge of their seat, tells them what they must do. Unfortunately, the tragedy of this character is, I don't think he'll get his wish. As soon as he leaves, he has a moment where he can't, he's struggling, so his guards take him back to his room. As soon as he leaves, the grandchildren start bickering again, and I think this is where the tragedy of King Viserys will sort of come to fruition. For all of his wants and his determination to make the family come together, the grandchildren and their own petty grievances will ruin that. They will ruin his legacy. And it's sad. It is sad. But I bloody love it. What a quality episode this was. And there's nothing grand happens apart from that guy getting his head cleaved in twain. Not much happens. It is all just a family dynamic. family discussions, the arguments, this bubbling sense of, things are changing yet again within the family. And yet we have this superb performance by Paddy Considine. What a shame that he won't be around much longer, I think. But we still have, like I said, Matt Smith, Rhys Ifans, who is stoically quiet throughout this episode. But yeah, we'll see what comes. I am massively surprised by this series so far. It's grown on me as we've come along, and I'm pleased that that's happened. I don't make reviews to be angry for the sake of views. And I don't do it. It's not me. If I don't like it, I will tell you why I don't like it. If I do like it, I will tell you exactly why I like it. And that's what's happening here. This show has turned around for me as we've gone along, and I hope it continues. I really do hope it continues. I'm not going to remain on this pedestal and say it's the greatest thing ever, because I did that before with Game of Thrones, and yeah, you know what happened there. So for this episode, purely based on the performance, purely based on the quality, like I said, this family dynamic, I'm giving this yet another 10 out of 10. What is wrong with me? I don't give 10 out of 10s very often, but there you go. Performance-based. For a start, performance-based. This is a performance episode. This is a character episode. And in terms of characterization, it is a 10. It has to be. It absolutely has to be. Say what you want about yet another time jump. There is yet another time jump. We jumped 6 years ahead. I've lamented the time jumps in the past, but I'm willing to forgive it based on the sheer power of the performance we saw in this episode. So yes, 10 out of 10. Long may it continue. My God, we'll see what happens in the next episode. Are we going to get another massive time jump? I hope not. I hope we settle down. But we'll see.